Remember some of that what?
Salmonella that's in the air.
Oh, salmonella's in there.
They just Jason just read something about Kroger eggs. He said don't eat no Kroger eggs. They was people were getting sick out of it.
I didn't know Kroger laid eggs.
Yeah, Kroger eggs, a lot of eggs. Yeah.
We got to get together sooner or later. Then my favorite Hendrix shirt, Kevin Robinson. I love this shirt.
That's right.
That cool.
That is nice.
And like it's all green and that cool ass jacket he's wearing, man. That's cool as hell. Boy.
I used to have a head of hair like that.
Yeah, me too. Hair like that? Yeah. Me too. All time ago. Believe me, it ain't there. Believe me, this wouldn't be like this. If I could still do that, it would be like that. Uh-oh.
Wendell off the air.
My video.
There he is.
Okay.
Where's Kevin?
I'm right here.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Hey, how tall was Jimi Hendrix? Was he like 6'2"?
Good question. I mean, I always assumed he was like around 6 feet tall.
Yeah, I'd say about 6'2".
Yeah.
Okay, Audrey. I don't know if that's a good thing to look it up. Man, I can look it up right now.
I can't because I don't use a computer.
Yeah,
so
I understand. I could look it right now.
Neither.
I'm thinking for some reason I'm thinking 6 feet tall.
He looks lithe. Liz, how you say that? Lithe, slender.
Oh, L-I-T-H.
Oh, lit. Yeah, like he's lit. Like
yeah.
How tall?
As long as he didn't look willowy, but he did in some of them songs.
He was 5'2".
That's Prince.
He wore big heels.
That's Prince.
Well, who was the tallest? Who was the tallest between Prince and Angus Young?
He was 5'11". 5'11".
Okay.
Wow.
Who was the tallest between Prince and Angus Young?
I'm gonna guess.
I say Prince. I seen Angus Young. I seen him in. We went to the Toledo Speedway Jam back in the day. We seen AC/DC. That was the first tour with that new singer that they got.
Yeah, right. The fellow.
Yeah. We were right there in the front, man. And that was he's a short guy. I remember them being real short. All of them were short.
All of them. I did not know that.
Yeah, that guy. I can't think of his name to sing. That's bad. I know Bon Scott was the original.
Yeah.
And the other guy that's been with him longer than Bon Scott.
A lot longer.
Yeah. He was in a band called Gordy or Georgie or something like that.
Jordy, because they're from Newcastle. They're from Newcastle.
Find out what his name was, Wendell. The lead singer for AC/DC. That's a band I've never seen. But I tell you what, man. Huh?
The original AC/DC?
No. Just look up AC/DC and they'll tell you all their lead singers.
Yeah, everybody knows Bon Scott. Was in, but like you said, the other guy is. I don't know either.
And Bon Scott, he died of alcohol poisoning or something. Yeah. I mean, that's a hell of a thing to do. Like in the early 30s.
Dave Evans actually was the very first vocalist they had.
Okay.
But then before they got famous, he was replaced by Bon Scott.
Okay.
Then let's see. You want to see who's on after that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Come on, Wendell.
Brian Johnson.
Right. Brian Johnson.
We used to work with Brian Johnson. Remember that, Kevin?
Yeah. He was on it. He was with AC/DC too?
No, he wasn't with AC/DC. He was a cool guy. He was cool. Brian Johnson was born the same day as my big brother. And he was kind of like a big brother at work too. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
If you're out there, Brian, I love you. You're a wonderful person. Really, really great.
You know something, though, Wendell, when you're talking about bands that stayed together a long time or groups that stayed together a long time, what you just said there makes sense because I'm sitting here going, oh yeah, Bon Scott was the lead singer. You go, no, Dave Evans. Yeah. That's what you don't, if you don't read up on them, you didn't know that.
There's one group we forgot last week or last one when we were talking about that. It was, and I don't know how I didn't think about them, but somebody mentioned it to me. ZZ Top.
Yeah.
They over 40 years.
There's 3 of them.
I think it might be 50 years. I'm not sure, but
before the bass player died. Before he died. Yeah. I saw them with Deep Purple. I saw them with
a good combination.
And I'll tell you what was funny about that concert is that, I go down to Cobo and I used to try to get there kind of early so that I can get my seat and be settled in. So I used to walk right to the middle of the building because I knew that building like the back of my hand. Mm-hmm. And I would walk out to see the stage because usually they didn't cover nothing up back then. They just had the stage. And I walk out to the middle of the aisle and there's nothing on the stage. It's a wooden platform. And come to find out that the trucks that were hauling the gear got held up by a traffic accident. Hmm. They didn't even get to Cobo until 8 o'clock. So we sat there and watched them actually put together the stage and the lighting and everything.
I remember you telling me about that concert. That was around 50 some odd years ago now.
Yes, it was probably like 1973.
So conscious though, like I can't talk when you're sitting here.
That was really cool.
You can't hear nothing.
The thing about it was ZZ Top. They went on first and they played for well over an hour. And then Deep Purple played for 2 hours. Oh, Kevin's a little occupied. You all right, Kev?
No, something's happening.
Oh, no, never mind.
Okay.
Okay.
I think what year was that? I think I was at that concert.
I think it was like 73.
I think I was there at Cobo Hall.
Yeah, it was at Cobo.
I think tickets were like $5.50 and $6.50. I remember.
Yeah,
I remember something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and nothing on the stage, nothing. And then they had to build the entire stage. ZZ Top played a full set. Deep Purple played a full set. And my ass didn't get home till 3 o'clock in the morning. And my mother,
that's what I remember about it, was you were talking about how late it was. That's what I remember.
Right. And my mother used to sit up. If ever I went to a concert, when I came in, she'd be sitting up playing solitaire at the dining room table. And then when I come in, she would always ask me, how was the concert? How was the show? We talk about it. And I used to think, yeah, she wants to hear about the show. I went to, no, she's worried. I'm out there on the street, because the shows didn't end till midnight back then.
Right. Usually,
we had a midnight curfew. At midnight curfew.
And midnight.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got home at 3, and the first day I came, usually she go, "Hey, Kevin, how was the show?" When I walked in, she said, "Boy, where the hell you been?" And I had to tell her. She says, "Don't you keep a dime on you to make a phone call."
Yeah.
And she was right. She's absolutely right. She said, I could have just went over there and say, "Hey, Mom, I called. I'm getting out right now. I'm on my way home." Because I was catching the Linwood bus, so I had to walk from Cobo all the way to Griswold to the bus station. There's just now Capitol Park. They call it Capitol Park now, and I had to walk all the way there and stand and catch the bus, get off on the bus, walk past an apartment building that had drug dealers in it, and they go. So
you keep saying, "I don't want none. I'm cool."
Yeah, right.
I was fortunate when I was the same age. We would take the Hamilton bus, which would stop right in front of Cobo Hall. But the bad thing was when we got off, I still had to walk from Puritan and Hamilton all the way home, which was like around a mile. And I remember one time, I'll get it. That's another story.
I remember about that show that I thought it was Sneezy Tom for some reason, because I'd never heard of ZZ Top before, but I never heard of it. And I thought we were saying Sneezy Tom. What the hell kind of name is that, man? I remember, but they were cool. I remember that. So yeah.
Well, you should check out Concert Archives. What's so funny about Concert Archive or Concert Database? And I look at that and I was at that show. I saw one show, it said the opening act was Tom Waits. I said, I have no recollection of seeing, and I didn't get high. I didn't get drunk, not like that. I said, I don't remember Tom Waits. But guess what? You saw him.
That's right. But since you weren't hip to him, the name didn't stick.
It didn't ring, yeah. But I do remember seeing 10 years after, 1975, home from my freshman year in college with the mighty band called Slade. You remember Slade?
I remember Slade, sure.
with Noddy Holder.
They were huge in England and never really caught on.
And they couldn't get arrested here in America, right? Noddy Holder used to wear that top hat, and Jimmy Lay had that funny ass haircut.
Oh, yeah, hated that haircut.
It was like a half bowl haircut and a half mullet. You know,
exactly. Before they were called mullets. That's right.
Right. But I tell you what, man, they weren't very good to me, but they were so much fun. You didn't care. Yeah. You know, they were running through the audience with their instruments, you know, and all this shit.
We're all crazy now.
All crazy now, yeah. So but 10 years after got on after that and tore the house down, man.
Yeah.
Where was that at?
I was at Cobo. That was in July of 75. July 1975.
Alvin Speed Freak Lee.
Hey, man, I tell you, you got down.
That Deep Purple was, I think, in Guinness Book of World Records, the loudest band in the world. Yeah. When we seen them at that time.
You know who broke that record a couple of years later? They did it on purpose. So it was Mott the Hoople.
Mott the Hoople.
Yep.
Yeah.
They turned it up
129 decibels or something like that.
They turned it up to 11 or something. What was that? Spinal Tap?
I saw them. They were great too. They were absolutely excellent.
Now that's funny. Mott the Hoople's music doesn't need to be very, very loud to me.
Yeah. Absolutely, I agree with you. It's not that. It's more melodic. It's more melodic.
Yeah,
right. 100%. 100%.
But you know, one last thing before you hit that, Wendell. Mm-hmm. At the Deep Purple concert, I forget which one. I saw him twice. I saw him once, I believe, with Coverdale, and once with Gillan. Okay, so once with Blackmore and once with Tommy Bolin, right?
Okay.
But I think it was probably the one in '73, Kevin. This guy in the audience was so high, and he jumped around, and he stuck his head in the speaker banks. They had the speaker banks, and he stuck his head right in there. We were like, "Oh shit!" Because I was on the first tier. You know, I wasn't on the main floor, and we were all looking. And back then, everybody had a camaraderie, even if you didn't know him.
Yeah,
and when that guy stuck his head in there, we were like, "Oh shit, you see that?" And, his hearing is gone forever. Let's wonder what happened to that guy. You know.
Now, what did you say?
You really? He was the guy. He was that guy, huh? What?
Who? That's what I got these in here, man. All right, they're working.
Okay. I was saying my brother Charles, one of his clips again. 100. This is the 100-year-old predictions that are made in 1924 about what was going to be happening 100 years from now. Mm-hmm. Then, right? This is interesting. I love this one. While some U.S. religious leaders blame jazz for promoting immorality among youth, Russian classical violinist Paul Koshansky defended the syncopated music. Jazz music is a powerful force for development of music in America, and in 100 years it will be accepted as classical, he said.
Wow.
He was right.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
He was listening with his ears instead of to the newspapers and a bunch of idiots yelling.
Yeah, he recognized that it was new, something. He said, "Whoa,"
He heard because he's a musician.
Yeah.
Plus, being a Russian in 1924 probably helped too. It's a Swedish artist. I had something. I talked to Kevin Thompson about this. This is like this. This is one of those things that to me leads to like all kinds of stuff, but it's so clear as a bell when you see it. All these different things start coming to my head. There was this video, and you might have seen it too, Kevin Robinson. It was at Wrigley Field, and they were playing the Star Spangled Banner, and it's one old guy, and everybody standing up. This one guy, this young fellow, is still sitting down, and this old guy smacks him on his head and says, "Get up!" To stand up for the national anthem, and the guy, he gets up, but it just brought to mind a whole lot of stuff to me.
You ain't lying.
Yeah. It's like
you ain't lying, man.
The absolute, but this is the obvious is the dirt.
A slow turn and a right cross.
But it's like the obvious irony, or let's say hypocrisy. I believe in freedom. So unless, of course, your freedom is something I don't like, in which case I have the right to beat you up.
Right.
Is that the American way or what? Sure is.
Absolutely.
And it reminds me of something else. And this all this stuff leads to something else, like the labels that people put on themselves. They think that they have to. They forget what the label's about. So this guy is talking about something. He's talking about the song saying the rock is very glad, the bomb very there, our flag was still there with the land of the free and the home of the brave. But don't you do anything we don't like, or we'll kill you. or like Trump, if you don't like it, or all these other right wing, you don't like it, get out of here.
Right. Yeah.
So what is they're not really for freedom, therefore do it my way. But this is the thing that kills me. A lot of people don't realize, and I kind of hope they never do, that they really believe in fascism. They are fascists. They call themselves, they say they believe in democracy, but they only believe in democracy if the majority goes along with them. If the majority goes along with somebody else, they're not for democracy, they're for fascism. So it's like the label becomes so important to them. I'm worried about the time when they realize they're much closer to the Nazis than they were to the Allies in World War II. And they realize that we might have a little harder fight on our hands because these guys, they got a label, they're going to go with, because they're all about labels and social acceptance. So they can find a social acceptable group. And that's where all these Proud Boys and all the other vile bastards coming up, they're providing that for them. And once a lot of Americans don't realize, they're always talking about democracy, but they're not for democracy. They're very anti-democratic. They believe in fascism.
They don't care, Wendell.
Well, they don't care, but at the same time, they're such cowards and weirdos.
Yeah, they're cowards. Yes.
If you give them the label is very important. But one other thing, I know I'm gonna jump all around, and I know y'all are tied together for everybody that happens to be out there listening to this. Is it happens on the other side too. People get really happy about a certain label, and they forget what they really are. For instance, people that call themselves Christians act about as much like Christians as Darth Vader. They're not, but they won't let go of that title. But that's what's keeping them together from being completely nuts. And also this whole thing about people get won to this idea that I gotta be an American patriot. And they understand that America has this 250-year history of racism, murder, taking over countries, kidnapping presidents. They're still doing that. But they still say, but I'm the real patriot. No. But they won't let go of that because it's something that's near and dear to them. I got to say I'm a this. Forget that I'm saying I'm a this, I'm saying I'm a that. What are you? What do you really believe? What do you really believe? But a lot of people are scared to do that.
They're not part of the tribe then, they're individual,
And that scares people a lot.
To be an individual,
It scares a lot of people to hold on to truth. And you have to, I'm a communist, so I have to defend Stalin all the time. I'm a this, I have to defend. What is truth? What is the truth?
That's why I think.
That's why for the truth, objective reality, find it and fight for it.
That's why I think
is right out of that. I'm sorry.
That's why I think trans people offend them so much. The right wing, because they're trans people. They're living their life how they want to, and you can't do that,
Just like Audrey was saying that same thing about she was talking about like you're at work and everybody's suffering the pangs and whatever of the supervisor, for instance, the post office. But then if somebody stands up and says something about it, a lot of people get mad at them, not because they disagree with them, but because it brings out something in them that says, how come I don't have the nerve to say that? So instead of saying, I don't have the nerve to say that, they say, you're a troublemaker. Stop it. You're making us, you're going to make us get it worse now. It's like that old Tom in the slave movie. Oh, now the master's really going to beat us. So they get more mad even though they might stand up than the person that's kicking their ass.
Even though they might agree with it,
Even though they agree with it, even though they do agree with it, but they're too chicken shit to say anything about it. So they get more mad at you for saying something than the person that's kicking their ass. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. That happens a ton. And that guy that hit that person that was sitting out at national anthem, only reason why he had the cojones to do that because he knew that everybody around him would back him up.
Yeah, okay. Beat that kid down, you know.
Right. So now if they're at another spot, if he's at Coachella or something, they're playing at this kid sit down, he might say something, but he ain't gonna hit him.
He's gonna go.
Because and the kid might think, well, you know, I want to get up and slap the hell out of this guy, but if I do, I'm gonna get jumped by a bunch of people.
Yeah. Or I'm gonna look back because I'm a young guy and this guy's around 70.
No, it don't matter. Well, you got nerve. You got
some people aren't going to hit back because
of that. I know, but you got nerve to hit me. You got the nerve to get the shit slapped
out. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you.
Right. Plus, the kid was probably in shock too. You know, he's probably talking about, okay, what's going on here? You know, all of a sudden I'm getting hit.
I remember those football games, high school football games back in the 70s. And like when we went there, like hell, at least half the people didn't stand up for national anthem. But the Vietnam War was going on, the whole civil rights movement was still real big. Everything was happening, much more of a class struggle going on. And people sitting around like, man, stand up for that bullshit. And they did, they didn't. And they did. No, I don't know anybody got beat up for standing up, but I know some people that would
got jumped on for not standing. Yeah.
And so like this is freedom. Wait a minute, you're the freedom fighters, but if I don't stand up, you'll kick my ass. However, you can stand up you want, I don't give a shit what you do. That's freedom. You want to stand up, go ahead and stand up.
They took away Colin Kaepernick's career because he wouldn't stand up, you know?
It's just incredible. The
took his career away.
The voice of freedom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They're a bunch of Nazis that don't even know it. But and then well, never mind. But yeah, whatever. Everybody makes their connections based on whatever tangent I might go on. It's founded in some kind of a grounded truth. I hope. Yeah. And if it's not, please let me know. And my two translators here will handle every question. Because they know me. They know what I'm talking about.
But it's funny though, like Kevin, when you talk about trans people. And that can go with the whole LGBTQ plus community. People hate when folks start to acquire their freedoms. They can't stand that. When they see women begin to flex themselves and begin to create means of production for their own personal survival, they got what happened to I like a good old fashioned woman. Yeah, one that you can slap around and tell I have my dinner ready and give me a beer. You know, right. So when they begin to really say, man, I'm not afraid of this. Go back to the 60s, Wendell, when they said black is beautiful. How many folks hated that shit?
That's absolutely true.
Okay?
Well, white people ain't beautiful?
Why would you hate that?
Then they say white people ain't beautiful?
Right. Well, that's a knee-jerk reaction to it. Yeah. You know, like Black Lives Matter. Well, all lives matter. Well, you ain't getting the shit beat out of you by cops. Okay, so Black Lives Matter. Okay.
You know what killed me about that is like, are you against the cancer fund because they say cancer? What about my disease? You know. I mean, what the hell are they talking about? But that's a whole nother thing. But it's the same thing too.
But it is though, man. It's incredible. And you know, one of the things I was thinking about too a couple of days ago was we talk about freedoms like that. How, you know, the 30s and stuff, especially in New York, well, you know, we got our clubs, you know, the gangsters can have their clubs, and we don't want no black folks in here. But we start a club, and here you come over to our club. You know, why are you coming over here? You know, it's like, don't come over here. You know, if you see a group of, you see a gay bar, let's go in there. Like some people go in there and want to kill everybody in there. And it's like, they're not fucking with you at all, okay? They're minding their own fucking business. They're having a good time. You're a miserable son of a bitch is what you are.
Miserable.
Okay, and who knows? You might even be of that persuasion your damn self because you're so vehement against it.
But you're so ashamed of yourself. Yeah. It's sad. It's sad. But I really do think there's a lot of this. A lot of people just like, they can't stand because of their own feeling of inadequacy of standing up for their own, but they really believe in themselves. They're so out of touch with themselves. They resent freedom in the real sense, especially.
You know, Wendell, I wish I had sent you this. I wish I had sent you this text, but I was looking at this woman. I think her last name is Purdom, something like that, Purdom, something like that. But she's a comedian, and she told this joke about, when I date men and I have sex with them, then all of a sudden, they leave. And she says, yeah, they're like actors. Men are like actors. She's like Daniel Day-Lewis. He gives this great performance. Then he says, I retired from acting. And he leaves, right? Now, the joke wasn't that funny to me, but it was cute. It wasn't that funny, right? Yeah. But I get what she's saying, right? Yeah. But I always go to the comments. And all the comments from men were sort of like, well, if the sex was better, the men would have stayed if the sex was better. If you knew what you were doing, they wouldn't leave. It's like, Jesus. And then one guy, I'm going to send you the text, man. One guy went off on a tirade. No, but he went off on a tirade about, the reason why I do this, you women are like this and that. That's like, Jesus Christ, man. Are you triggered that goddamn much over this joke? And then I went on his whatever his site is, right? And I plugged in that says marital status single. I went, no kidding. Yeah, please stay that way.
You know what's scary though? You're standing in line with these guys like in the store or something, and these are the people that are online talking like this. They go, and they're the normal people,
Yeah.
But you don't know what they're like in private, man. Jesus.
Yeah, it's like, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, I can understand. I might get pissed off over some racist jokes or something like that. Okay, but no, man, this is a little different, bro. This you're like going off on all women, like all y'all ain't shit. It's like, Jesus, man, come on.
You got all 4 billion of them all summed up right there. I used to kid people about that. Hey man, there's no guys or no women out there. I said, wait a minute, how many you've tried so far? 10, 20, 30, maybe 40? You got around 4 billion left. Why don't you try some more, man? You don't
with Trump being in there, people feel like they can express their true feelings out here now instead of keeping it in. No matter what it is. Like Wanda, she's been disrespected at stores, a few times, by old white guys or something. Some old white lady might say something to her, and they just feel, brazen now.
Woodwork squeaks and out come the freaks.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's
my daughter has the same experience too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This crazy shit. I'm surprised Wanda didn't have him laid back and pop somebody.
She laid into him verbally.
I believe it.
Right. Yeah. I saw this guy in Clawson a few years back, and he says Donald Trump, I think lost the second time. When he won the first time, then he lost the second time. And this guy, but when he was campaigning, this little white guy I was in this antique shop. He's like, ha, Trump's gonna win. Trump. I said, why are you telling me this? I said, I know I'm the only black guy in here. So what? I said, he said, wow. Trump. He said, Trump's gonna win. Trump's gonna win. I said, oh man, I know you just can't wait to bring back slavery. Then he got quiet. I said, you can't wait, can you? You can't wait to be able to do all sorts of pedophile bullshit and downgrade women and beat up immigrants. Trump's going to win. He walks away. I said, what a
he comes over the store to tell you that, like as a
tell me that, and you ain't getting nothing out of it. That's the other part.
Stupid son of a bitch. It's reminds me of old. Remember Charlie Bartlett?
Yeah.
Charlie Bartlett was a co-worker of ours, a great guy. Hey, Kevin Robinson, if you ever could go to a time machine with all your production gear, that's when you should make a movie out of it. That guy was a character. He was hilarious.
Yeah. He was funny.
Charlie Bartlett was so funny.
I worked right next to him. I worked right next to him for like 6 months, man. When he was in the same different cases. I was on Andre's route, and when he broke his ankle, and Charlie Bartlett's route was right next door to me. And he used to sell orange juice in the morning to everybody.
Right.
He'd bring in like a case of orange juice or something, and he'd be selling it for $1. But other things. Yeah, go on, Wendell. That guy he was a character, man.
He was. And I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to talk about something else, but what were you talking about, Kevin?
I worked next to him. Oh.
No, what Kevin Robinson was saying made me think of Charlie Brown.
What?
I can't remember. I'll tell you another story about Charlie Bartlett. I can't remember what I was going to relate it to.
But sorry,
Charlie
man.
Bartlett was so funny and so crazy. He talked like this. What the hell? And he'd always talk all this crazy stuff about, I got a boat. I got a plane. I'm a pilot license. And people said, man, he was Charlie lying. And he would always, this crazy stuff. I mean, just talk all this crazy stuff all the time. Then one time, I found out, I said, Charlie, I have to know the lady that lived across the street from him, right? And she says, oh, yeah, he got a boat. He says, and you know he's a pilot, too. I said, wait a minute. I said, Charlie, all that stuff you're talking about, your big boat you keep parking inside your house, and because he said like he was bragging, not like it was true, right?
Right.
And he says, and you having a pilot license, that's all true? He goes, yeah. I said, I thought you were lying. I told you boy.
Yeah, he was hilarious.
And then he would talk all this crazy stuff about crazy stuff. And then one time, I was reading a book, went to McGregor Library in Highland Park, and they had one of those history of the Highland Park type of things, right?
Right.
And so then I found out that Charlie Bartlett was the guy that integrated McLean Street in Highland Park. He had a friend of his who was white, bought the house and then sold it over to him as part of the whole integration scheme. They're anti-racist back in I guess it's been the early 50s. It did to get it. And I found out I said to Charlie, I said, all that crazy stuff you're always talking about this and that woman and this music is crazy. How you never said anything about that? He goes, I don't know. but my favorite Charlie Bartlett story of all time, Charlie Bartlett.
Okay, it better be funny. That's all I got to say.
I probably have told y'all both about this before. Charlie Bartlett, all these old guys, they were old guys, they're younger than us now, but they were old guys to me then. They all had like at least 20 years at post office. They're all at least in their 60s, and they were talking, they always would talk, you know, a lot of those old guys talking a very guy atmosphere, talking about, I did this, that, crazy shit. So then they were talking about when they were little kids. So Charlie Bartlett was talking about, yeah, I remember we were little kids, we'd go under the porch. You heard this before, I show y'all this shit.
I don't remember.
We'd be under the porch, you know, all the little boys be under the porch. And we take we'll take our little things, be poking each other. And then all the guys were talking, they all stopped at the same time, like stop and drop. What? He said, don't tell me you didn't, y'all did it too. He said, no, we didn't do shit like that, Charlie. Charlie said, oh man, I just kidding. No, you work here. So then the next few days, every Charlie came around there, watch out, here goes Charlie. Don't go on the porch.
Don't go on the porch.
Don't that remind you of that scene in that Wayans Brothers movie, Your Gin and Juice in the Hood? And them guys are sitting around and they're talking about, guy been in jail. This shit, I'm getting this all wrong. He's been in jail. And then he's talking about, he said something about seeing a man in the shower. And I guess it turned him on. And when he said it, you heard this, like the sound of screeching tires and all the music stopped. And everybody gets quiet. And he says, slow turn. Yeah, he goes, what? He goes, what? Oh, come on now. You mean to tell me that you've never seen a man in the shower with the suds going down the crack of his ass? And everybody like, no, bruh. And he goes, I'm just joking. That's all it was. That movie, of any Wayans movie, if you want to see anyone, see that one.
I still haven't seen it.
What's it called?
It's like don't something your gin and juice while you're in the hood.
While you're in the.
It's a long title.
It's a take off all the Boy in the Hood type movies.
Right. And I tell you though, that is absolutely for me the funniest damn Wayans movie that I would ever see. It's funny as hell, man. I saw it and I ended up seeing it in New York when I was with Tina. Tina was with me. And we went to New York for my class at Syracuse. And we were sitting in this theater in Manhattan with all these Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. We're sitting in there and I'm laughing my ass off, man, you know. And then when the movie's over, these guys says, and I was old, probably we were the oldest ones in there, you know, because I was in my 40s, you know. And I looked at the dude and said, man, you really like, I said, man, they funny as hell. It's like, all right, you know, it's a trip, man. Good film. Check it out, man.
You remember me and you were sitting in the movie theater at the Renaissance looking at Pootie Tang? That was you, wasn't it?
Wasn't me.
I saw that with Tony. I saw it with Tony.
It wasn't you then. It must have been me and David then. Me and David, but there's like 12 people in the theater at the Renaissance, right? And Pootie Tang was on. It's a very, very much a very specific type of humor in that movie. And me and David were cracking up to the whole movie. We were just laughing like a bitch. And then there was like 12 people, right? Around 3 or 4 of them walked out somewhere during the course of the movie. Me and David and 2 other people were laughing, and the other 4 people sat through the whole movie like this.
Yeah, right. Didn't get it.
But that's how Pootie Tang affected people. It's like you either loved it, and it was so funny. And Kevin Robinson, you won't believe this. When my mother saw it, was on cable or whatever, she said, I saw that movie, Pootie Tang. That was funny.
Oh, yeah?
I never knew what my mother would like and don't like. I never could figure it out.
Absolutely. But it would hit you. Tony loved that movie. And the Wanda Sykes character, she really liked.
That's
Wanda
why I discovered her. That's what she was.
Hampton grad, I believe 1980. Something like that, 82, something like that. But she went to Hampton as well. But Tony loved that movie. So we'd be sitting at home when I was living with Tina and Tony was there, and we watched that movie. Tina be like, man, I'm so tired of y'all looking at that. But Tony, that's funny. And you talk about your kid's sense of humor. Yeah. Who would have thunk that a kid would really love that movie?
Even get it, you know. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was wild, man. You were talking about.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you were talking about people at your job, right? Mm-hmm. I got to bring up the story about this cat. When I was working at what was it? It wasn't Dodge Main. It was Warren Truck, I believe. I was working there for the summer.
Warren Truck.
Yeah, and I was driving the truck through the washer to see if there was any leaks. That was my job, right? I was working with this guy named Reverend Dave. And Dave was a cool dude, you know. I turned him on to a lot of foreign movies. And he told me he was going to take a woman out to see a Fellini movie. And he said, yeah, it's a foreign movie. And she said, you mean them movies with the writing on the bottom of it? He said, so nevertheless, he didn't take her. But there was this guy, you talking about selling orange juice, Kevin? There's this guy that used to sell lunches. I used to call him Scatman Crothers. If you know Scatman Crothers, when he had that bad slick hair, his hair.
He did.
Right. And I used to call him Scatman Crothers, and he would sell sandwiches. And this is back in the 70s. Now you gotta remember this. He's selling a slice of watermelon for $2.
No,
you can get a whole watermelon for $2.
I was about to say, man.
So I told Reverend Dave, I said, Dave, you're spending all this money, Dave, I don't get it. You can go get yourself a loaf of bread, some lunch meat, couple packs of lunch meat, and buy watermelon, and you can bring your own lunch, man. You're spending $6-7 a day. Man, I said, that's like an hour and a half of your work, man. He says, yeah, you got a good point. So he started bringing us lunch one week. Okay, what I didn't realize, though, that I was fucking around with somebody's lunch.
I knew you were going to say
that. And I told Eric this story. He was laughing, but the guy was cool. So Scatman came up to me. I didn't call him Scatman, but he came up to me. He said, hey, young buck, let me talk to you for a minute. I said, yeah, man. He says, did you talk to Dave about making his own lunch? I said, well, yeah, this is nothing against you. I was just telling Dave he could, save some money. He said, well, I know you were well-intentioned and everything, and it's real nice. He put his hand on my shoulder. He said, but see, now you're messing with my hustle. I said, oh, shit, man. I said, I didn't even think of that, man. I said, I tell you what, not only will I apologize, but I'll buy lunch off of you for a week. He said, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that, man. We good. And Dave got tired of making his own lunch anyway. He said, Kevin, thanks for the advice, but that's too much damn work, man. I said, well, then you're paying for the convenience. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, the convenience. You didn't have to go to the store. Yeah.
The same thing happened to me a different way at our work, Kevin. I won't tell you who it was, but they were doing taxes and charging people. I said, Andre, Andre Wilson. I said, Andre Wilson says, yeah, I would do my taxes. Oh, man, I got it. I said, I'll do them for you. He goes, how much you charge? I said, well, you using the short form, the easy form? He goes, yeah. He goes, I don't charge you anything. They take me around 15 minutes. I said, okay. So I did it for her. And the next day she came over to me. She goes, I'll do that, man. Do that. I got it. I said, come on now. It's almost like I feel like you're taking advantage of me, man. She got mad at me.
Oh yeah, I know he did. I think I did my taxes,
but just for a minute. She was cool after that.
I think I did my taxes with her too. I can't remember who it was, but I think I did.
Yeah, she was cool as hell too. By the way, it was just that one thing, and we got along fine before and after. But it was just,
hey, Wendell, who was that guy that I think you worked with? You don't remember this? We were driving around in a car, and me, I don't know, it was David or whatever, and this guy, and he was very well dressed, and he thought, he was just so sophisticated, and I was getting on his nerves. Remember, we would pass by these. He said, "Now these out here, these are townhouses," and I said, "Those are projects." And these are not projects. These are and I knew the guy that actually owned all those. I said, man, you call them townhouse. They call them townhouse just make you feel better. I said, these are projects. I said, they all got the same layout. When you go in one, you can go in the one down the street here, and they look the same damn way. That's a project. And he was getting pissed off the whole night. I was just doing it to needle him. You don't remember that guy?
No, but that's funny.
yeah, man. I mean, because he was getting mad. He was getting mad. Oh, this is a townhouse.
I used to make jokes like that too about. So I said, what's the difference between projects and a townhouse? I said 20 years.
Yeah, right.
But I'm trying to think of who it could be. He was a young guy.
Well dressed. You said.
Yeah, he was well-dressed guy. He's a black guy. He was well-dressed, around our age,
Was he skinny?
Huh?
Was he skinny?
Not skinny, but he was slender. He was in good shape, He wore his clothes well. He had nice, nice.
It wasn't me, was it?
No,
no, it wasn't me.
No, man. I think I remember 6'7" white guy. Talking about project too bad. I can't remember that guy, but he was getting like one day.
When you tell stories like that, I usually have a feeling of it, but I can't.
Yeah.
Damn. It was me, you, David, and this guy.
I believe so. I know you were there.
You were driving. I was driving, or you were driving?
You were driving, because I was in the back seat with him.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And we would pass by some. He said, "No, they call these condominiums." And I said, "Those are projects." I said, "All they're doing is giving you another name so they can jack your rent up."
Yeah, that's pretty much it too.
But we were all right up to that. I laid off of them, so okay. I've had my fun with this,
Had my fun. I have no fun no more.
Oh yeah, man. I want to tell you something. Yeah, man, I had put on Facebook, but I had a ball going to the art fair this past week when old Tony came in town.
Yeah.
And we went up to the art fair, man, and that was so cool because I used to drag that girl to all the art fairs when she was a kid, and she used to sit there and she would endure it, because and her main thing was, Dad, I don't mind going, but you got to talk to every artist that's there, and one time we went to an art fair on. It was at Palmer Park, but it was right on Woodward. And I said, art fair. I didn't even know it was there. So I parked the car and Tony's like, oh, sorry. Tony's like, yeah, sorry, I hit my tripod.
No, I said Tony was saying, I said, oh no, here we go.
Yeah, Tony said, oh God, we gotta go do this again. And it was only like 6 artists there. And I walked past them. It took 5 minutes. I said, well, we can go. Tony said, nah, this is the kind of art fair I like. But it was nice. All the 3 particular artists, one had never met her, but he heard about her all the time from me. And 2 of them hadn't seen her for years. So that was kind of nice. To see all that. Yeah, that was cool, man. That was good time. But the best part was seeing her taste. She's actually looking at different booths. And she was like, in this one booth, she said, I like his art. It's a little expensive, but I like his stuff. Maybe I'll save up some money if I come out here next year. I said, great. So she goes home. I go back out to this place on Saturday and I meet this guy and I tell him, I said, yeah, man. I said, my daughter really liked your stuff. He said, great, man. So I took a couple pictures of his booth and everything. And I said, so where are you from? He said, well, I went to school in Virginia. My father was in the military. I said, really? I said, I went to Hampton. He said, oh, man, we used to go to Hampton to their library for books that we couldn't get in our library. He said, and my father was stationed at Fort Monroe. I said, get out of here. I said, Phoebus? He goes, yeah, we stayed at Phoebus. I said, okay, when you drove to Fort Monroe, do you remember going down this road? He goes, yeah. I said, then you make a right. He goes, yeah. And then you make a curve. He goes, yeah. And then you go across the bridge. He goes, right. I said, now on your right was Fast Brothers Fish House. He goes, yeah. I said, on your left was the apartment building. He goes, yeah. I said, that's why I stayed. He said, okay, get out of here. I said,
he said, I had a girlfriend in that apartment.
Yeah. But it's hilarious though that if Tony hadn't said I like his art, I never would have went back to the guy and said anything. And come to find out, we had this connection that we didn't know at the time. Yeah, man.
That's what happens when you're a gregarious person and you're talking to people and you're friendly with people. You find out the world is much smaller than it is for people that are stuck
absolutely
that don't work. And I don't want to talk to them. If you end up being, you really do make yourself a better world that way because
that's what it is.
Absolutely.
That's why I say traveling is so good. You travel to other countries, see how other people are living.
Be nice, be friendly, talk, travel, and you'll find out the world is, there's a handful of people at the top that want to mess everything up because they want everything. And there's a couple of people at the bottom that want to emulate those assholes. But everybody else is, for the most part, is trying to get along in this crazy world. Trying to do the best they can.
Yeah, I've never traveled a lot out of the country, but on my job with Midwest Video back in the late 70s and early 80s, I traveled a lot around these small towns in West Virginia, Florida, Illinois, and Indiana. And man, you talking about a melting pot of folks that you met. I mean, I only wish that I had a phone with a video recorder on it because it would have been great. Man, because
I remember those stories you would tell and it sounded innocuous in a way, but they're very important and they're very instrumental in how we think about the world. It's little stories you would tell when you come back for your travels. When I first met you, Kevin Thompson, the stories you would talk about you and your friends, your pals hanging around, growing up, all that stuff is like, it really creates a bond that you never can lose with people.
Absolutely. I have a picture in my collection of this young woman that's probably from 1982, 81, 82. She's at a fruit stand in Florida. And she's standing there. She has this kind of shy look. I would always ask people, "Can I take a picture of me?" I had my 35 millimeter, and she said, "Yeah," but she was kind of shy, and she made this kind of face. And I never wrote on the back of the picture or anything, but I remember what I titled that picture to this day, and it was Dawn from Bushnell. So she was from Bushnell, Florida, or something, and it was Dawn from Bushnell. And sometimes I get that picture out and I try to look, okay, Dawn from Bushnell. Is anybody named Dawn there?
Social media?
Yeah. Just to see. Yeah, just to see. One person I did see, and I didn't contact her, but I did see her. There was this young woman named Dink in Spencer, West Virginia. They called herself Dink, and I was like 26. Dink was like 17. She worked in one of the three restaurants they had in Spencer. So we eat dinner there. So you get to know her. And I remember she told me, she called me Calvin all the time. She never said Calvin. And she said,
I get that too, man.
Yeah, yeah. And she said, you know, Calvin, what I'm scared. I said, what are you scared of? She goes, I'm scared that like a lot of women here, when I graduate from high school, I'm gonna get pregnant and I'm gonna get married to some guy and I'm gonna be living off a little piece of daddy's land. And she goes, I don't want to do that. She goes, I don't want to do that. You know, I don't know what to do. I said, well, can you go to college? At least go to Charleston, the University of West Virginia. I said, that's 60 miles away, but it'll be a world apart from here, you know. And you know, she thought about it and all that. And I said, okay. So we did our last day there. And Spencer was a trip out town. I won't get into all that, but there were a lot of stars and bars over there, okay? And I said, well, good luck to you. And she gave me a menu, which I still can't find. And she wrote a note on it. Said, thank you very much, you know, for your kind words and all that. Right. About a year later, we had to go back down there to do a quick job that would take about 2-3 hours. So me and my guy Terry, we went down there. We did the job. I said, man, let's stop by this restaurant before we leave. I want to see if Dink's in there. And he says, okay, man. We went over there. And I said, hey, Dink's still work here? He said, no, man. Yeah, she graduated, but she doesn't work here anymore. I said, okay, well, if you see her, just tell her Kevin came by from the video company. She, okay. We go to this little store before we hit the road. I see this Jeep come careening down the highway. It hits all this gravel, kicking up gravel, slams on the brakes. This woman jumps out and she goes, Calvin. and she runs and jumps into my arms. And she goes, how you doing? I said, Dink, if you don't get off of me, you know I'm going to get lynched down here. I said, and we never had any contact or nothing. I mean, she's a teenager. She's a teenager, but I said, she goes, okay. She had a cast on her wrist. And I said, what happened? She goes, oh, I caught my boyfriend cheating. I swung on him and he ducked. And I hit a wall. I said, Lord. Fast forward a few years, I looked up Dink for some reason. And what did I see? I saw a 59-year-old woman with her husband and her 3 kids.
Wow.
And that was her. She was.
I hope she was happy.
She looked very happy.
Oh, that's good.
All right, cool.
She looked very happy, you know, because believe me, I saw some of them down there, man. One day, you know, I'll spin some tales about Spencer, man. It was wow. They used to call it the armpit of West Virginia. That should tell you what's I didn't say that. That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was told. You know. Yeah.
I always I like driving through, like going to Florida, driving through West Virginia. It's beautiful through the hills and the mountains and stuff. We've never stopped there though.
No, we never stopped. We stopped at one restaurant though, didn't we? When we were going out into Florida.
I remember some. Yeah, I remember some.
Kind of nondescript place.
Yeah,
but nothing to you know.
I remember eating in Charleston with you and Tizo.
Was it
some restaurant? Was that Charleston?
It might very well have been
Savannah. I don't know what.
Yeah,
a long time ago.
Charleston.
Huh?
Oh, no, you know, I got Go ahead, Wendell.
Now, I was gonna say, when you mentioned Palmer Park, it just made me think of something. This is a very quick story, but it's another thing how you cross people's lives and one little word can mean so much or different. I was looking at a Little League game there once. It was a Rays Machine Shot Warriors. That was from my neighborhood. I didn't play. I was just watching.
That's great.
Isn't that typical?
The Warriors.
They don't have stuff like that anymore. They don't have Little League like that. They have Little League up in Palmer Park. And I was sitting up there on the bench, me and my brother, and we were looking at a bunch of our friends were playing on Rays Machine Shot Warriors, Greg and Andre and Michael Bayray. So I was sitting up there, and Michael Simpson, he came over to me. He goes, "Hey, Wendell." Now we got to remember, we were like 13 years old. Okay, he said, "Hey, Wendell." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Man, you shouldn't sit like that, because I was just, just sitting like, like crouched over. I said, what do you mean? He said, man, you're gonna hurt your back over the long run because just bend at your waist and lean forward if you want to lean forward, but don't crouch like that because you're gonna mess with your spine. This is a little kid, right? Wow. But I said, okay, thank you, just like that. And I shouldn't say I never said it like that again. I tried to correct myself every time I said it like that.
Right.
To this day. And thank you, Michael, for helping me out. I appreciate things like that. People say things all the time, and it's good advice, just as much as bad.
Is he a chiropractor now?
No, I don't know. I don't know where Michael is, but wherever you are, Michael, thank you. I appreciate it very much, brother.
Yeah, well, so next week.
Go ahead, Cam.
Yeah. It's wild just how things will stick with you like that, like somebody just say that. But you just remember it over, through time. Yeah.
Whenever I start going like this, I say, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
Michael.
Thank you, Mike.
But next week, when please remind me. But I collect every damn thing. I don't throw away nothing.
Absolutely.
But I have the people say I'm a minimalist, I'm a maximalist. But anyway. But I came across, because I'm trying to clean out a room, which taken me like 3 years. But I have a bag of matches, books of matches that I collected on my travels around when I was working for Midwest Video. But what makes it so cool is that I open up one, it'll be like the nights in Merrillville, Indiana. And then I flip it open and I'll write down what I had for dinner and how much it cost.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And it was tripping me the hell out because it'd be like, I had breakfast, bacon and eggs. I had this and I had this, and it was $3.50. It's like, damn,
It was the matchbook from that restaurant?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And like the restaurant in Charleston, West Virginia was called Smiley's. That just came to me. It was called Smiley's. And they used to have an all-you-can-eat shrimp and all this. Coldwater, Fort Wayne, Indiana. I went to this restaurant on Coldwater Avenue. And they had all-you-can-eat popcorn shrimp. And I ate 120 of them.
Whoa.
And the lady...
Your picture's still on the wall there, man.
Yeah, right. With a big X over it. That's what that is. And she was like, what, you can't eat that. I said, well, you said all you can eat, So at 100, I said, well, I'm going to make 120. So I made 120. And I was probably traveling with Fred Gorchik. And Fred was cool as hell. Fred, geez, Kevin, where do you put all that? Because, I was weighing about 132 pounds then,
120.
32. 132, man.
That's
man. When I was in high school, any woman I met in high school usually weighed more than I did. So shit,
No, but I think 132 shrimp, 120 shrimp.
120 shrimp, and I weighed 132 pounds.
Okay, I had it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Had some feet.
Weighed a little more after the shrimp, though.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, man. But let me tell you this one thing. Terry told me. Terry was funny as hell. Terry, I think he's from Grosse Pointe. He was my traveling partner for years. Good dude, man. He drove to Zamboni at the Red Wing games.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Terry was all right, man. Terry said, oh, man, I got an all-you-can-eat story for you, Kevin. He went to some small school in Tennessee. And wherever you're at, Terry, hope you're doing well. But Terry said, man, so I'm driving home. He said, I'm still in Tennessee, and I saw this place that all-you-can-eat. And I said, yeah. And Terry's husky. He's a husky guy, So Terry goes in there, he said, man, they had good food in there too, man. So I'm like on my 5th or 6th plate, man, full plate of food. And a lady comes over and she says, we're not going to serve you anymore. And he's like, why not? She said, because you've eaten enough. And he goes, it says all you can eat. He says, it says all you can eat. So I want another plate. So, okay, I'll get the manager. So she goes to the back. He says, Kevin, this dude walks out with this apron or something out of a movie. Gravy stains all over his apron. Carrying a meat cleaver with a chef's hat on and a scowl. He walks over. He says, do we have a problem? And Terry, give him credit. He looked at the guy. He says, yeah, I want another plate. Your sign says it's all you can eat. And then he said, the guy leans over into Terry's face and says, and that's all you can eat. And Terry said, okay, no problem. Yeah, that's my favorite all you can eat story.
I thought you would say he ain't got no more food. No more food.
Yeah, man. I mean,
come for the food, stay for the free. Come for the
food. I did 21 plates of fish at Howard Johnson's. Remember the Howard Johnson's on Woodward?
Sure.
Okay,
21 plates.
21 plates, man. I met my father down there after school. I was at Cass. And he said, come on down. And I came in there, and the guy says, and my father said, yeah, this is my boy right here. And then the guy said, oh, I understand you can eat. I said, yeah, I can eat. and my father said, that boy can eat. He said, this skinny dude? No, man. I was about 125 then, you know. And I sat down. I said, what you got? He goes, fish. I said, okay. Man, 21 plates later, I looked at Dad and patted my stomach. And I said, man, that was good, Dad. Dad smiled. Yeah, only cost $2.50. You know, I probably ate about $50 worth of food, you know. And this guy was mad. Told me, where are you putting it? I said, oh, it's summer. I'm not. I got a shirt and pants on. And I guess we never went back there again. I guess we were persona non grata after that. You know?
Man, there's a guy on YouTube called Beard Meets Food or Beard versus Food. He's an English guy. He got a big long beard. He travels all over the world, and he eats his, you know, he breaks all the records, whatever restaurant he goes to, all you can eat ones. He's been in Michigan, and he's travels all over the world. But he's a young guy. But I looked it up. They said they stretch out, they eat and they stretch out the lining of their stomach so that they can eat more and more like that. And it's a slow thing, but they train their stomach like that, where they can eat that much.
Like that guy that doing the hot dog contest. I wonder if he does the same.
Yeah, the same thing. Yeah. What's the name? The Nathan's hot dogs thing? I forgot his name. He was world famous. But this guy, he'll eat a big old, like, and he just shoves down within a half hour a lot of times, you know. But then he'll just walk. Then he always asks for dessert. What do you got for dessert? Yeah. He'll eat a dessert too.
So they had man versus food. Yeah.
Beard versus food. Beard.
Okay.
Yeah, look him up, man. He's pretty funny too. He's got a band he plays in and stuff. But
cool.
Yeah, he travels all over Europe, and he's been to Michigan, but he goes all over the United States, and it's pretty cool, man. It's cool to watch it, man. But I could never try. The way you're eating, you could have a YouTube channel and do that stuff. You can't eat like that no more, though, can you?
Oh, hell no, man. No. You ever watch Man versus Food on the Food Network?
I don't know. Maybe
they had Man versus Food, where this guy would go. Adam Richman did it at first, and then Casey, I forget his last name, did it second. But Adam Richman would go into a place that would have something stupid like a 10-pound hamburger.
Yeah.
A whole mess of fries, and say you got 5 minutes to eat it. No, they give him like an hour to eat it, and sometimes he would win, and sometimes food would win. But Adam Richman, he stepped away from that show, and he lost weight. He said my health was going to hell. Eating all this stuff.
I know.
And Casey's a fun guy, but I'm always worried about Casey because he seems like that frat guy, the fat frat guy. This is one thing that I'll get attention. I eat a lot, and I'm being a pop psychologist here, but he eats a lot of that stuff, and you look at him and say, man, how do you deal with all that, man? What does it do to your blood pressure?
Yeah,
and everything, and they had one dish where it was an Indian dish, and this guy had so many spices in this dish that he had to wear a gas mask while he was cooking it. I said, no, I'm not eating no shit like that, man. And he said, man, this is really hot. And he's done. I said, what? You got enough spice that you can't even breathe in the kitchen.
I know.
No, man, I don't need a t-shirt that bad. Okay. Yeah.
They got an ambulance waiting outside for it. For you.
a stomach.
Right. Sponsored by Swanson Funeral Home. You know, we're right there.
Well, look here. We're gonna call it a day. But we'll be back next week, right? But then after that, we'll be in Detroit, and I don't know if we'll be able to do the show for Detroit, but we'll see if we.
Who's we? Who's we?
That's what I'm saying. Between the two of you mental geniuses, giants, you might be able to figure.
What?
What's happening? What are you doing, Kevin?
Kevin Hicks.
Anyway,
what was that, man?
You two mental giants, you might be able to figure out how we can do this.
Pop.
Well, Audrey is the principal videographer for this, right?
Yeah, but she's not going to be there in Detroit. I'm going to Detroit. She's not going to be out.
I know that.
Maybe y'all can figure it out.
I don't know, man, because I just use my phone.
I know. That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe if one of you two can call it. I'm technical.
You don't use your phone, Wendell? You using the computer?
I'm using Audrey's computer.
Oh, okay.
So I don't do nothing but show up and start yammering. So I'll catch y'all later, and maybe we'll work something out. We'll have another show like that great one we have.
When are you coming? You're coming to what? The 4th or 5th?
5th. I'll be there. Yeah, right. August.
Okay, so that's in like a week and a half then. Okay. A little over a week and a half.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. All right.
And then the 24th, and I'll be the 31st. So it won't be next week. When are you gonna be on the road? That's the thing.
I'll be leaving the 2nd and be there on the.
Okay. So if you're leaving the 2nd, we can do next week's show then. No, well, yeah, we'll do next week's show.
Yeah, we'll do next week.
The week after that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm sure our rabid fan base will miss us. So
I don't know. Like I always say, I love our rabid fan base, and I don't know exactly who you are, but whoever you are, thank you. We appreciate doing this. We really love doing it. Yeah. All right now.
All right, peace.
All right, y'all take care.
All right, Cam. You too now.
Love, peace, and
soul.
Whoa. See you later, Kevin Robinson.
Yeah, turn it off.
I'm trying to, man. Give me time.
That's the same thing you say to your girlfriend. I'm trying to. Just give me time.
Kevin, that's what they would say. That's time?
We talk about things you want to know.
I thought they usually said, that's it. No.
That same thing.
From the bay, we come to you with the freshest point of view. Watkins leaves the